Please excuse me. Oh, no, this is fascinating. I'm not being rude. I mean, I hope you know that on Take 5 for Foodies, there is no room for rudeness. Only great food and beverages, in this case, cooking with rum, because we're cooking with Dwayne.
Of course.
And the breadfruit. Now listen, what is the secret to cooking with rum? It would intimidate me to start a dish with something that is as potent as this.
Well, I think first of all, you have to enjoy drinking rum. And then from there on, it's just a natural part of the process.
I've taken care of step one.
You've taken care
What's
of step
next?
one, yes. Next is just to have fun with it. Wherever you'd like the flavors to go, whatever inspiration is driving you, you just kind of go with it. Perhaps it's not as sexy as people would think of the breadfruit, but that's really how we approach it.
The breadfruit is just such a terrific title. I mean, that's a title that you can chew.
Right.
You can taste the title, except for the fact that an awful lot of folks say, well, rather than just tasting the title of the restaurant, what happens if I taste the food? What do you specialize in?
People show up for seafood at our restaurant. Seafood and jerk, those are really two that are synonymous with not just Jamaican cuisine, but Caribbean cuisine.
So it is the island emphasis, though. It is the influence of the islands that you'll find at the breadfruit.
Yes.
Primarily Jamaica?
Primarily Jamaica, but yes, you'll see influences from different islands as well. For example, one of my new favorite dishes, the rum glazed prawns and roti. Again, rum glazed prawns and roti. And the roti is traditionally from Trinidad, but we enjoy a good roti in Jamaica as well.
You sound like a guy from Avondale. So a lot of folks are saying right now, what the heck does Dwayne know about the islands? Tell him.
Right. Well, I was born in Kingston, Jamaica. I left when I was 16 and moved to Arizona. And why I don't have the accent, and I believe that's what you're referring to, is many years of practice. In high school, I was the kid with the accent, and a lovely accent as it was. I think it was a little bit of a challenge for me having to repeat myself constantly. Say that again, and so many years of practice.
And many years of practice creating Jamaican cuisine. You go back to the islands.
Yes.
You get recipes to come back with things like this, for example. Please describe this dish for folks who are saying, well, I've never really been to Jamaica or any of the islands, so I don't have any idea what to expect.
Very good. This is one of my favorites. This is the mango shrimp ceviche. So what we have here are some Mexican sweet shrimp, the little tiny ones that are just absolutely phenomenal and flavorful. We've got some fresh mango chopped up, lots of wonderful herbs and spices. We've got some English thyme on the plate there. But what really pulls this dish together are the herb crackers that are made in-house. Chef Danielle does a wonderful job at baking. I think she probably fancies baking a little more than she does standing over a stovetop, but nonetheless, it's just absolutely phenomenal. All the right elements of a ceviche, good fish, a little bit of tart with just a gentle bit of sweet from the mango, and then of course the crunch from the herb crackers.
It just became my favorite dish.
Just wonderful.
Okay, so we can just get a sample, a cross-section of the really diverse menu at the Breadfruit. This lovely item.
Well, what you have there is one of the newest items on the menu. It's our jerk pork and polenta. Now, what's special about this dish is that we start with pork from the meat shop, and as you all know, the meat shop is just the best place to get your pork. A wonderful group of folks raising magnificent animals. Might I say, delicious animals. So we've got some pork from the meat shop there. It's smoked for about 18 hours at a very low temperature. So it gets infused with all the wonderful flavors of jerk because we marinate it for about 8 hours before we put it in the smoker box.
And then that's not enough. You have to put it on polenta.
Exactly. Well, it's a West Indies polenta, like we like to call it. And the difference here with the West Indies polenta and traditional polenta is the amount of herbs and vegetables that gets folded into it. It's just absolutely phenomenal.
And then this?
This is perhaps our house staple. This is why most of the folks show up. This is our jerk chicken off the grill. It features a chicken breast that's been marinated for about 4 hours and then grilled over pimento wood that's gently sweet. The pimento wood is really key here because one of the primary ingredients of making a jerk marinade is pimento berries. And so we get the wood from the tree that helps to really add just a lovely smoky peppery flavor to the chicken. Just
And when they do
absolutely
show
fabulous.
up, where is it that they show up? What location? Let us know, because the Breadfruit is not necessarily on Restaurant Row.
Right, right, yes. It's tucked away. You know, we've been referred to as downtown's best kept secret because you won't stumble onto the Breadfruit. You really have to know about us to find us. So we're tucked away on a little street, Pierce Street, which is about 3 blocks south of Roosevelt, just east of First Street.
All right, east of First, south of Roosevelt.
Right.
And before you leave, before we run out of time, will you please, so that we don't do those dumb talk show host jokes, explain jerk to me in Jamaican terms?
In Jamaican terms. That might be a bit of a challenge.
All right, but what is it? We have jerk chicken, jerk spices.
Right. Well, jerk goes back to the very early days of the island. Some will say that it's actually an African tradition that were brought over in the early years of the island. And it evolved as a means of preserving your meat. And so what you find is that lots of spices pulled together with peppers, for example, Scotch bonnet peppers or habanero peppers that we use quite often at the restaurant. So it's the acids from the peppers along with the spice that kind of cures the meat and allow for you to store your meat. These were before the days of refrigeration.
Where can I find fabulous rum cocktails? Where can I find Jamaican beers? Where can I find marvelous dishes from the islands? Where can I find all that jerk stuff? Well, you can find it almost exclusively at the Breadfruit. Oh, yes, and of course all this week on Take 5 for Foodies on KTAR.com.